Today we're exploring how to brew iced coffees using the April brewing kit. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with April. This time we're going to explore how to brew iced coffees using the April Brewer. So it's getting warmer, it's summer in most places, at least here in Europe. And what we want to try to do is to explore how can we make something really tasty and refreshing. Now, of course, you have traditional cold brew, but traditional cold brew is not all options for having a really tasty, cold, refreshing coffee. So what we're going to do is to walk you through how, using the April brewing kit, we brew iced coffees. And it's relatively simple. We start with 200 grams of ice. And for our brew, we're going to use 20 grams of coffee. Now, this is going to be considerably finer grind than what we ever or usually use here at April. On a carbonated, we're talking about 30 clicks, more or less. Now, we're going to pour a total of 200 grams of water on these 20 grams of coffee. In traditional April fashion, we pour fast. And we're going to pour 100 grams at the same time. Now, we're going to start with a 100 gram circle pour. I'm going to let that sit for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to push through a 100 gram center pour. Now, the center pour here in the end is just again to kind of speed up the flow rate for the initial part of the brewing, mainly because we are grinding very, very coarse. And traditionally using the April Brewer, I recommend having a much, much coarser grind size. However, because we're effectively diluting the coffee here using 200 grams of ice, we need to take all variables into consideration and make sure that we still get a really tasty, refreshing coffee. Now, for those of you that are interested, the coffee that we're using for this specific brew is our lately released limited Red Honey processed Gesha from Volcan Azul in Costa Rica, one of our favorite farms. And one of those farms we've been visiting the most often during our time here at April, ever since day one, basically. This means that this coffee is going to come out really peachy, really floral, but still have enough sweetness to kind of carry up the ice and the dilution that we're doing here as well. So we're not fans of adding sugar in this process. We want to keep it as clean and flavorful as possible. Now, what we're going to see here is that we're going to end the brewing time at 2 minutes. And at 2 minutes, then all of the water you poured should have gone through the full coffee bed. Now, because you've done a center pour and quite a lot of it using a very fine grind size, you're going to have a pretty clear visual volcano in the coffee grounds, which in terms of extraction, a lot of people argue is not perfect. However, we need to keep in mind that we have about 200 grams of ice here, and that is actually going to change the game completely. Now, this is how we recommend to brew an iced coffee here at April using the April Brewer. If you have any recommendations, any thoughts, you're more than welcome to share them or comment below as always. With that said, thank you guys for watching.